Welcome to Positive Moments with Andrew and Don.
Let everything go.
That was such a life-changing experience.
It's a way of life, it's a way of being, it's a way of thinking, it is mind management.
It inspires me to know that there's more to learn every single day. Welcome to episode 2, Positive Moments with Andrew and Don, season 2. And this program is not only about positive moments, but let me tell you about positive people, really special people. And already I think you're seeing her. Some of you may say, I know her, I think I know her, I'm not sure I know her. But let me just tell you, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. While she has many sobriquets and she may be known on the stage around Carnival and so, this young lady here, and I say young lady specifically because she radiates a kind of positive young vibe to a lot of young people in particular. This young lady here, I had the pleasure of having her on Positive Moments as part of the episode number 11 in the first Positive Moments. She's one of Republic Bank's ambassadors. And let me tell you, this Nyla Blackman, who is here with us, is really special. I told her before this program started that what really made me endear myself to her is the fact that she's real, just like anybody else. I mean, we'll find out that in a little while, but she's very, very real. So before I bring on this positive lady, really special lady to talk about the songs of positivity, I want to introduce my positive bro. You know, the other half of Andrew, Positive Moments with Andrew and Don, has to be Andrew. So Andrew, welcome Nyla to Positive Moments with Andrew and Don.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you very much for that beautiful introduction, Don.
It was great.
And to everybody, the flow is on. The energy is amazing, especially having, as Don said, this vibrant, lovely woman next to us here, Nyla Blackman. Thank you very much for joining us to talk about the sounds of positivity. What does that feel like? What does that sound like? What comes to your mind when you think of that?
Honestly, I was just telling him the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about the sound of positivity is my mother's voice. And my mother, Abby Blackman, because she's such a positive person. And I think everything I know about positivity came from her as she raised me. So as I too started my journey and my life, knowing other positivity, I think, as he said, that's the genesis, that's the beginning of it, you know what I'm saying? Other things is the sound of crashing waves. Sound of crashing waves is such a positive sound. Raindrops falling on the galvanize. That is something that is incredible for me, just bringing me back to my childhood, and you don't have a ceiling or don't have anything in between. It's just like you're hearing little drops. Music is the healing of all. Throughout my years, throughout everything that has happened to me, a song was always something that healed me, that brought me back to a place of happiness, a place of positivity. So music is definitely, the biggest sound of positivity. For sure.
And when they say, healing yourself, I love when I recently read this, that they say, if you could heal yourself first, you could really help heal anyone. And as you relate music to that of healing people, you yourself are a contributor to the world of music. And in theory, your song, the way you contribute to that world has a vibration that runs through people's veins, through their hearts, and makes them move, and makes them dance, and makes them smile, and makes them do all these amazing positive things and create a lovely energy. And I agree with you. I can really feel the positivity and just the sound of thought of music.
Well, Andrew, even as we started here, we were hearing a sound. It might have sounded like a phone, but let me tell you, to have Nyla here, some sound has to go off somewhere, But let me just tell you, with music, there's a note. And I mean, I'm not musically inclined. I mean, according to the choir mistress, I'm in a state of tonal babble, So I don't think that was really a compliment, But music makes you take note, and it's made up of notes. And Nyla, even on this show, we're going to beg you to do even a little, just give us some kind of note, because really and truly, You know, but you really make us take note when you open your voice, and it's really a gift that you've been gifted, that voice that you have. I mean, small in stature, but so big in presence, that when you open your mouth and you share what you share via your notes, you really have people looking on, listening, and actually feeling positive. And for them, that's a positive moment, and that's what this is about as well too. So we really, really, again, very excited to have you on. We want to deepen the conversation a little bit, Nyla. And there's some songs to you. People, you know, Nyla gives out a particular kind of music, a genre of music. But Nyla, what do you go to listen to that helps Nyla feel positive?
Well, to be honest, I believe that any kind of music can make you feel positive. Me personally, I don't go to one specific thing to feel positive. I think it's in when you're hurting or when you're on a low or you want to build yourself up. I think there's moods that you go through. Sometimes you want to dance, you want to feel, you know, you might listen to some soca, that does make you feel positive. But then other times you may be feeling more spiritual, want to feel more grounded, and you would probably listen to some gospel or something a bit more deep lyrically. So the sound of music can always make you feel positive based on what you're looking for. But to say my go-to, I love my family's music, you know. So Jamu and what my mom, calypso music that stimulates not just your mind but your soul, your body, everything, that you could get a little bit of all the things that music can offer from all the different genres that I would go to. And funny enough that when I started and I said my mom is her voice, sound of her voice is what positivity sounds like to me. Funny enough, when she taught me how to play the guitar, the first song she taught me on the guitar is one of her songs called Love Life. And I'll share a little piece of how that song goes just to give you a picture of the kind of music that she's literally drenched in me since I was a little girl. But the song goes like, love life, say you want to live it. Hold your head up high and think positive. I say to think positive. And it's 4 chords, and I learned this, and I was like, love. At 11 years old, I'm playing my guitar, singing the song, like, you know, so.
Well, you know, that might end up being a soundtrack for this this particular film. Every time you say think positive,
Yeah,
I know one time
sure.
everybody here, you know, it's like, wow, that's really, really good. I mean, hearing you say that, that actually moved me inside. Just you hearing those notes, it actually moved me inside, and I can imagine how it has moved and will continue to move other people as well. And that is what this is about. This is a positive movement. You know, this is not something, it's like a stone in the pond. Ripples don't end, they just begin again.
Yeah.
And what we're doing here is going to be timeless. I mean, this will be placed on certain social media platforms. And the intention is for it to continue. And I mean, you say if it's nice, do it twice. Andrew could sing, let me just tell you. We don't know that, huh? Yeah, you know, but and of course, so I'm the word guy. So when I say put him on the spot, I put spot backwards and you come out tops. And I mean, you just we put you on the spot there, and that, you know, I mean, that take this to a different level. But just if you could just do that chorus again, I think that was really, really special. I want to hear that again. I'm going into my zone, Andrew. My musical zone.
I think if I'm going to sing it again, he's going to have to back me up.
Hey, Andrew, yeah, now you had a.
Nicky made a mistake. Alright, so let me clarify that. I love music, but I am not a singer. My connection to music is I was a DJ for many years, and I love music. There's no visual that could really take over what I feel through audio. And growing up as a DJ, I really thought I actually was going to be a professional DJ because I had that connection. I really understood through music you can move people, you can touch them in so many different areas. And as a DJ, you have to come out of yourself. You don't play what you want to hear. You get to understand human beings, your audience in front of you. And this is a very important part of life. In order to be very positive, you must understand the places you go, certain people will be affected by it in certain ways.
So as I started to experience this world of a DJ and having the crowd moving and dancing and having a good time and understanding what was positive music and what wasn't, I started to have a transition where my dad came to me one day and he said, how much is this set cost here? I said around $15,000-$16,000. He said, well, we're going to sell this. And that's going to be the end of your DJing career. You want to DJ professionally or you want to go to the Olympic Games? And it's really hard to put the two of them together. And I was super independent, making my own money, paying my own bills. Freedom. There's nothing like freedom. And you could hear the sound of freedom in music. And eventually I said my Olympics is my vision, is my dream. I've wanted that since I was 14 years old. Let's sell it. And I haven't turned back since. So as I really feel the connection in music, while I can't sing, or I can sing, but it's not my forte, I think we can all sing. I really believe we're all gifted with a voice.
Yes.
And we could do something with it.
Yes, for sure.
And as a matter of fact, you could, coming from an island where I had to almost self-coach myself to get to the Olympic Games. I had a lot of guidance and a lot of coaches taught me, but a lot of self-training took place. Imagine if a human being really put the level of effort and time I did into my sailing, how much better of a singer they can be with what they're born. You never know what is out there for us when you positively explore the options of coaches, mentors. So when I really think music and positivity, and I feel it, as you sang it just now, as Don said, I was touched, I was uplifted. And when we look at the Life Diet, I brought into this world, what you see, what you hear, what goes through your skin. Part of our Life Diet is music. What you listen to can really uplift you or bring you down. So we gotta stay on the up. But when we're not on the up, what do?
Wow. You think about getting back on the up.
Fall down.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times we fall, but it's really about how many times we get up. And music can help people get up and be all that they could be. And I could imagine, Nyla, you knowing that you have a knack for singing. What age did your career really take off? To say that it's a career, because you could do something as a pastime, and many of us try to. I sing in my pastime, but it's not a career. No way, nobody hired me to sing.
But he does sing, huh? I've heard him sing actually.
And I might actually do a little piece before this segment is out, because that's what you bring out in people. But what age could you really say that music was a viable career for you? I understand that you're able to get your own home, and so what year was that? When did that really take off for you and say, hey, I'm going to continue this gift that I have, I'm going to use it to be a career?
Well, I would say I've been singing all my life, and I always saw music as my career because I did calypso competitions and soca competitions from a very young age, from 4 years old actually. And when you do these competitions, you get money, and that money, it was never my money to have. It was always like this was money to support the family. I always felt like I was doing a part. I had a part to play, and it was my job. Like I always felt like it was my job to make sure and do well and to win and to strive and to do better where music was concerned. It was, when I was a child, let's say, a pastime, even though I took it very seriously. And I think it was when I was about 12 or 13 years old, it was when I was 12 years old, I started writing songs. And that was when I said, you know what? I think I'm going to make this my career, because before that, my parents would write my songs. My mom, my dad, my aunts, people would write songs and they would give it to me and I would sing it. And I think when I started writing my own songs, I fell more in love with music than I was before. And I said, okay, anybody can be a singer. Anybody could perform a song, anybody, but when you write a song, when you put melody to words and you create something from scratch, this is when it feels like it's now yours. Before, I've had many songs growing up, but I never felt like if they were mine. You know, I felt like it was my mom's that I was singing or my dad's that I was singing. You know, I didn't have that attachment to it. And when I started to write my songs, I was like, I don't want anybody to sing my songs. I want to sing my songs for myself, you know. So I started taking it a lot more seriously, and I said to myself, this is going to be my career. And I begged my mom. I said, Mommy, could you take me out to school? Could I just do music like you did? And she was like, no, Nyla, I wish I had an education, you know, because she didn't get the opportunity to go to school. And I was like, but Mom, I know this is what I'm going to do. Like, I know that. She was like, yeah, but it's good to have options and whatever, whatever. And I was like, I don't really want options, you know. I know this is what, you know, I know this is what we're doing, you know. And obviously, she said no. So I went to school, and the entire time I was in school, I wish I was on a stage. I wish I was home. I wish I was in the studio. I wish I was in the band room. To the point where I started skipping school just to stay home and play my guitar, you know? Not like I was doing anything bad. I didn't feel guilty about it because I'm like, this is my dream. This is my life. I talked myself into thinking I was doing the right thing, even though it was not the right thing at that point in time. I should have gone to school and, you know, done better at school. But I already knew that this is what I was going to be doing. And I would say from the age of, you could say 13 was when I knew that this was going to be my career. Yeah.
You know, if I'm hearing correctly, to be everywhere is to be nowhere. And I believe, Nyla, that there's some young person or somebody, it doesn't have to be necessarily a young person, but somebody listening to you right now who's saying, I feel exactly how she does, because people are pushing me to just go and get my academics and just get that on paper to become a whatever else. But I know inside of me, I have an artist inside of me, I have a performer inside of me, I have somebody who can actually sing and bring a note that actually makes people feel positive. I want you for a second, Nyla, if you could just look to the camera and imagine that one person right now and just say to them, you know, Nyla believes in you, or whatever you want to tell them to encourage them, because they don't have to necessarily go the pathway. Yes, the books are very, very important. Very, very important. But if they feel in their heart that there's something that they're born to do, like you have demonstrated, what would you say to that person now?
I would say to believe in yourself. And every obstacle is actually your biggest, what's the word I want to use? Opportunity? Your biggest opportunity, because funny enough, I wrote a lot while I was in school, and I hated school, and I didn't want to be in school, and as soon as I was out of school, I lacked that imagination. I was like, where did all that zeal go? Where did all that, and I got it back eventually, but when you see something that you view as negative, you need to listen to the good advice from people, because sometimes you may think you know it all, but you don't know it all. And I'm really happy that my mom told me, stay in school and get your education. So even though some people might be forcing you along a path that you don't want to go, and you may think you know better, you should still take their advice and still do what you want to do, but take their advice, because sometimes we don't see things the way our elders or people in authority see things versus how we do. And I would say if I did not have an education, I would probably never be the writer that I am today, or the person I am today, you know. Because apart from the education aspect, it was the social aspect. I hated socializing. I hated it. I was like, I just want to be alone. I didn't like the kids in school. I didn't like the whole, I didn't like it. I just wanted to be alone. I wanted to be secluded, and I felt like I had to try so hard to you know, work my way through this social landscape of life, and I just didn't want to have to deal with it. And that was a big part of why I did not like school, not the education aspect, but the social aspect. And now, in life, in my career, I see that social is everything. It's everything, and I would have never I would have never learned the things I learned that equipped me for the actual career that I wanted, that I didn't know that I needed. So,
So I have realized that, you know, human beings are creatures of habit, and we're also social creatures. We must learn to work amongst one another. And today you're actually going to take us to a very positive place, very special place to you. And as you say that, it's an environment that's very quiet. Do you believe that going to certain quiet environments, calm places, certain environments are more positive to you than others?
for sure, I would say that it's very important as an artist, a creative, or anybody that's, well, that's the word, creates, anybody that creates or brings forth life, it's important to have around you oceanic energy, energy of stillness, energy of serenity, calmness, like just the entire thing, because we need to connect with the creator. How better to connect with the creator than to be amongst his creations? When we're around our creations, as I would say, manly creations, concrete and all these man-made entities, I think it's sort of, it, it's not stimulating to creatives, because in order for us to tap into our creativity, we need to go back to the creator and his creations. And that's why you would see when we're around beautiful plants and the sky and the mountains and the beach and the water and all these different things, you feel this sort of like stillness that you could never find in an apartment in the middle of Port of Spain. You know, you could never find that. You could never find, and I'm so happy that I was raised in an environment of so much oceanic energy and stillness and serenity, for sure.
That actually reminds me that, you know, what you're saying is it is important to have a balance between man-made versus godly made.
Exactly.
And if we don't have that balance, we almost become robotic like.
Yeah.
And the human is the furthest thing from a robot.
Yeah.
We were born to fail, to learn. We were born to explore this lovely planet that was created and to understand wrong from right. But wrong from right is a very subjective thing. And as we look and understand, to understand wrong from right, Mother Nature could tell us a lot of lessons. Because if we listen to her and understand her and feel her and see how it grows, how it becomes, we really understand that we are a product of Mother Nature too. Yeah. You know, we finish as soil.
Yeah.
It's interesting because if I'm hearing correctly, it says we have to treasure our environment.
Yes.
And what people don't know about Nyla, because they see her on stage performing with a microphone in her hand, but Nyla also paints, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's an element of you that the first time around was very, very surprising. Because again, and you're actually bearing testimony to it now, because you can identify with nature. If you could just tell us a little bit about you, that painting side of you, and I imagine somewhere in this program you're going to see one or two of those clips of Nyla's work. Nyla does fantastic work. I mean, she had them up in the, holding it up in the last webinar, you know, you know, but Nyla, tell us a little bit about that side of you, because people don't know that side of you. They see one side, and we have so many sides about us that really make us who we are, make us the positive people that we're born to be.
Yeah, well, funny enough, when I was growing up, I always loved to draw. I had this book called Tada, because every time I did a drawing, I would come and I show my mom and be like, "Ta-da!" And she took the book and she made it fancy. She did a nice cover and put some of like my art on the top. And she reached out to her friend Leroy Clark and she said, "You know, my daughter is very promising in terms of her work and stuff like that." And my brother sent down this massive painting set for me, and I felt so important. I was probably like 7 years old, and I was holding this big briefcase full of paints, and I felt so important with this briefcase. Like, it was my most treasured thing that I owned when I was that age. And Leroy Clark took me up to his house in Aripo, and we painted like on his walls, and I did so much work with him. And I also did a lot of work with Turanish from Studio 66 in Barataria. She had a lovely place where she taught me how to sculpt and wire bend and a lot of those sort of things as well. Tile art, where you break up the tiles and you grout it and you do like a whole mural out of tiles. So I was very involved in art, visual art, when I was a child. And as I grew up, I strayed from it, and I started to get more into music. I just sort of left it because it was something I did with my dad, and as he was no longer in my life as much, I felt sad towards it, so I didn't do it as much. And only in my later years, when I became an adult, I started back to do it. But I still have a rocky relationship with art, but it's something that's in me.
It's a relationship nonetheless. Huh?
Yes, it's a relationship nonetheless, exactly.
So we're gonna, head off now to Nyla's positive location, and I really look forward to getting my feet wet and seeing what our beautiful island has to continue to offer. As we go through the middle of a pandemic, we still have positive places, positive people, positive energy, and this show will continue to create more and more of that. So come with us as we go to get our feet wet in another lovely treasure of Trinidad and Tobago. The positivity continues, and you're coming with us. Here we go.
Forgive your brother, forgive, oh yeah, forgive one another. Forgiveness is the key to happiness for humanity. See, every day that you live, you got to learn to forgive. Hey guys, welcome to my special spot right here in Lafayette, Chupara Bay, North Coast, Trinidad and Tobago, with my friends, Andrew and Don. How are you guys feeling?
Ooh, feeling good. It's a kind of hike to get here. You can tell from the bag. It's a little, it's a little hike to get here, but certainly, I mean, this is really, really, and this sounds positive. I mean, the waves crashing and all that. Woo, this is really positive moments. Really unbelievable.
When you see someone in a natural element just doing their thing, and you say, that person does their thing well. The ocean, trees, she does her thing well, And I wasn't sure if we were actually going to get our feet wet, but
Wow.
Yeah,
We have no choice but to get into it, you know what I mean?
then we are enjoying it. Tell us about how, this place has such a positive effect on your life thus far.
When I grew up, I came up here when I was probably 6 years old, and we live just, I would say, a half a mile from here. And every single morning, my dad would wake us up at 5:30. We'd pray, and we'd have to run back and forth, take a swim in the ocean, and go back up. And I did this for 7 years straight. It became a bit hard at times, sometimes you don't want to wake up in the morning, but I would say this beach is what made me who I am, because apart from the morning run, every day after school, this is where I would come. This is where we would come. We would go out on boats, fish. We would just spend time on the beach. This was my safe space with my brothers and sisters, our dog. We had so many amazing times here. I would say this is one of the places that literally made me where I am. Like, I would just come to the beach and sing, just sing away, and it means so much to me. I would literally sit down on that rock and meditate and just hear the waves crash, just forget the world. So to me, this is a safe space, it's a positive space, and yeah.
We're talking about the sounds of positivity, and you say go on the rocks and meditate and listen to that sound, and be with that sound in probably full silence.
Yeah, I mean, it's never really silent, because
In you being silent.
I'm being silent, exactly. That back then, no technology, no phone to worry about, you don't have anything. It's just you, the ocean, your mind, the mountains, the fishes maybe, but it's just pure. And I feel like with our busy schedule in our life, it's kind of hard to connect to that pure state, that serene state. So when I come here, it just takes me to that stillness, that calm, yeah.
Well, stillness is important at times, and in terms of you writing, because to write you need to be certainly still to some extent.
Yeah.
But have you written any songs from here to say I've come here and you've got any inspiration to get, okay, maybe I can get a song from here, maybe there's something that is, you know what I mean, that I'm going to...
I haven't been back here much in my later years, as this was more my formative childhood years, and I only recently started coming back here as of last year. So even when I come, it's with my family, we're having a good time. So I wouldn't say I've written anything on this beach per se, but I would say Lafayette has shaped my entire mind. So all my songs kind of feel like they come from Lafayette.
So you feel the importance of coming out of the concrete jungle.
Yeah.
And I say concrete jungle being much more than actually physical concrete, but more of a man-made material world, even being in the cell phone world, the email world, office world. The importance of coming and being in these locations allows you to really free up, relax, you know. We're here, our feet is getting wet, listening to nature. I feel really, really relaxed, even a little more inspired actually to maybe do this more often. How do you feel, Don?
Yeah, I feel good. Actually, it reminds me of just how beautiful Trinidad and Tobago is. I mean, not only beautiful voices, but we also have beautiful people, and then the environment is totally beautiful, and that's something that we actually take for granted. So part of being a positive, or being part of positive moments, is enjoying what we have. Because many of us try to just jump on a plane and go abroad, and we celebrate all the things abroad.
Yeah.
But we forget that we have things here that we can actually celebrate that are uniquely ours as well too. You know, and I mean, this is a first for positive moments on the beach, you know, and I'm certainly enjoying it. It's like,
And since we have such beautiful voices in this country, you said you were going to give us a little.
I think you said you were
oh,
going to give us another
yeah.
I mean, you do have a lovely voice already.
Yeah, all I do is
That sounds
all I do is Phantom of the Opera.
right.
You know, that's when I feel special. I do Phantom of the Opera, you know. But if I give a little taste of that, I guess give a little taste of it.
Okay.
No more talk of darkness. Forget these wild-eyed fears. I'm here. Nothing can harm you. My words would warm and calm you. Let me be your freedom. Let daylight dry your tears. I'm here with you, beside you, to guard you and to guide you.
Beautiful.
Ah.
See, I told you he has a little thing on.
I heard that.
Wow, wow, man, you know, but this place is actually awesome, man. It's really, really nice. And I really, you know, celebrate Nyla for her using her talent to be a blessing to others and to be an inspiration. And that's something we forget that we can be. Because there's so many people looking for a mentor. Nyla, do you have any mentors in your life? Who would you consider a mentor, as it were? Besides your parents, because certainly your mom and your dad, certainly. And I'm sure they are mentors to others as well too. But who do you consider a mentor outside of your family?
I don't think I have any. You know, I'm not so much of a social person, so I don't get around much, but that makes me feel like I should get a mentor outside of it. So next time we talk, I feel like I'll have one.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Because I imagine you are mentoring somebody, even if you may not think that you have a mentor,
Yeah.
but there are people who you are mentoring, you know, young artists, maybe young people who are trying to say, look, let me go outside there and see what I could become, see what I could make of myself.
So that leaves us on a very important note before we wrap up, is that, you know, the industry of music, you know, how do you really leave us on a note that just inviting everybody to bring more positivity into their music, into their lives? You know, you brought us an extremely positive place. Do you think it's people need to spend time on positive places, around more positive people? Your inspiration comes from what I could feel, a very, very positive, like a raw environment that somehow you were guided into a place of real, almost extreme positivity. You know, look at where we are. This is a bit extreme. And what would you really, send home to those who you would invite to add more positivity to their lives because of what that effect could have?
I think it's so simple. I don't mean to break out in song always, but what you sow is that you reap. God don't make sheep. And what you put in is that you're getting back out without a doubt. So basically, if you want positivity in your life, you want positivity in your music, that's what you must put in. It's just like you mentioned with your life diets. If you're listening to gangster music and, negative music, you're not gonna create positive music. If you're eating bad food, you're not gonna be healthy. So I would say to people, positivity is important because, we lack so much of it these days in terms of what's right there on the media and social media in front of your face. We see a lot of bad things, and we need to promote more positivity happening on a regular basis, not just stuff for charity, not just, on a regular basis, your lifestyle. And in order to do that, you just have to put in good. Put in good, and that's what you're gonna put back out. That's what you're gonna reflect. What you see in the mirror, that's what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's
And it's so interesting you should say that, because a mirror would always reflect what is in front of the mirror. So for example, many people might, in this time of COVID, for example, might just sit back and say, let me see what happens. But guess what? That attitude doesn't get things done. So what we need to do is to actually say, hey, what? Let's try to, in the middle of all of this, Andrew, create something positive. And that's what Positive Moments is all about. Looking in spite of the negative, looking for something positive and bringing something to the table, trying to make somebody else happy, somebody else look at life in a different way. So I know we're getting set to wrap up and so, Andrew, and I know you're going to wrap up and so, but I'm just so happy to be part of this, and then happy to have the support, the corporate. You have a lot of corporate support, and then we have Republic Bank in particular. It's the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, but we have Republic Bank actually coming on board and joining in this journey with us to make it sure it happen. I think they have a little make it happen kind of loan too. I kind of doing a little ad right now. You know what I mean? But they're making it happen, And Andrew, we're so happy this was actually possible today, because it is, again, another positive moment.
Beautiful. So as we wrap up tonight, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry at the same time, because bringing people out of their busy schedules to special positive places like this, I think are really important. So real massive thank you on behalf of Don and I for coming out here. For everybody in Positive Moments with Andrew and Don, we've now come to the end of episode number 2. We're here in Lafayette, living positive, feeling positive, connecting with what really is positive. I invite you all to find your positive place, go out, live it, feel it, breathe it, eat it, rub it in, dive in it, because it exists, and therefore you can have it. This is not mine, this is everyone's. Lots of love to you all. God bless you, stay positive, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.